Israeli office in the UN. It's unclear to me from where. Benjamin Netanyahu on Friday ordered a murder, which was then carried out thousands of miles away. A federal crime and a crime under New York state law. Nothing will come of it with respect to criminal prosecution. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, the U.S. government not only will not condemn or prosecute Netanyahu's actions, they're praising it. The Secretary of State, the senior diplomat for the United States, is called Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, a terrorist, and it applauds the Israeli action, assassination by any other name. And I think the U.S. government in general, the White House, has made similar statements. So I think the only agency of the U.S. government that has expressed dismay and in some corners even outrage is the Pentagon, because they understand the ramifications of this action. This is a massive escalation, and it creates the not just possibility but probability of a regional conflict. We have yet to see what will come of this, but generally speaking, when you take out murder, a figure of such importance as Hassan Nasrallah, there will be, or there should be, or there ought to be, consequences for your actions. And the Pentagon, I think, is concerned about unleashing forces when you can't predict the outcome. In the military, you don't like to initiate a battle until you have thought through the consequences and you have a good idea what the outcome is going to be. And generally speaking, it means the outcome is going to be favorable for you, or else you wouldn't initiate that. The fact that the Pentagon is hesitant and indeed pushing back against the Israeli action means that they're not confident in how this is going to end.
Are you? Can you tell us if you believe that the Pentagon, the CIA, and MI6 knew about this in advance? Whether the State Department knew about it, whether the White House knew about it?
Well, first of all, the Biden administration acknowledges that from the very beginning after Hezbollah intervened on October 8th in response to Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel, Israel made it clear to the United States that they wanted to kill Hassan Nasrallah. Apparently, the Israelis have for many years now been collecting targeting data on Hezbollah's senior leadership, not just Hassan Nasrallah, but his major deputies and the military commanders, tracking them using a variety of techniques. Much of it open source. It just goes to show how important devices such as cell phones have become, and how we become dependent upon it, and how vulnerable the use of these devices make us. We saw what the Israelis did with the pagers and with the handheld walkie-talkies, weaponized them. So in the White House pushed back and said no, that taking out Nasrallah would lead to a regional conflict, and that's something the United States wanted to avoid. So we know that the United States was aware that Israel wanted to kill Hassan Nasrallah. We also know that the United States has in the past green-lighted targeted assassinations by Israel of senior Hezbollah officials. And I believe that the United States gave Israel permission to begin targeted assassination of combat commanders, regional political leaders, people of this nature. And I'm fairly certain that Israel. You can't claim to be an Israeli analyst and plugged into Israeli operations and briefing the White House on them if you didn't think that Israel was, once you gave them the green light to start killing the Hezbollah leadership, that Israel would take it all the way. Whether the White House knew exactly what was going to happen, when it was going to happen, that's just an element of briefing. That means that somebody didn't brief them. But I can guarantee you, 100% certainty, that the CIA knew, the Department of State knew, and the Pentagon knew, in one way or another, that Hassan Nasrallah was going to be targeted on the day that Israel actually killed him.
And nobody cares about the lawfulness of this. I shouldn't say nobody. Nobody in the West, nobody in the U.S., nobody in the United States government cares about the criminality of this behavior. I mean,
Well,
if
it's
a
not that
mafia